Southward Africa's elitists police force bloc has raided the household of a contentious industry household related to CEO Jacob Zuma, as blood pressure increases on him to stay downward. Officials say 3 human beings were detained as portion of an inquiry in the rich, Hindu-born Guptas. They include been charged of with their shut amity in Mr. Zuma to own huge policy impact. Meantime, Mr. Zuma's side has taken into account him before the end of the day to abandon. His links to the Guptas are one of the reasons he is creature constrained to abandon up the 2019 general poll. The Guptas and Mr. Zuma reject all concoction of offense. Yet, soon following, ANC head Stick Jackson Mthembu announced how a movement of not confidence in the CEO would be heard on Thursday, Mr. Zuma emerging undeclared on SABC, Southward Africa's domestic announcer, to say he was not produced to stay downward once as he had not be taking into account nice reasons as to why he should abandon. It was really unjust to me how the question is grown, he told. They did not insure me in reasons. Mr. Mthembu had told they would do Cyril Ramaphosa, who replaced Mr. Zuma as ANC lead in December, the new CEO as quickly as probable. The synchronization is wonderful. So why did Southward Africa's elitists hawks select to go versus the Guptas currently? Down there are 4 persons possibilities. 1, there was a true overlap. 2, the hawks, in an eye on the news story and the precise feeling how CEO Zuma is loser force, and thus any protect how the Guptas enjoyed as his friends is decreasing. 2, solved down there was a hazard members of the Hindu-born household might run the nation. 3, the man who supposedly authorized the go versus the Guptas, the domestic prosecuting head Sean Abrahams, saw the way the title was laid versus Mr. Zuma, someone equipped him. Mr. Abrahams has been stigmatized Sean the Lamb by Southward African print. Next common claims how he has helping to defend Mr. Zuma, the Guptas and other of corrupt practices investigations. Mr. Abrahams, who denies the concoction, might be looking to carry favor in any new ANC-led authority. 4, Cyril Ramaphosa, or such shut to him, once affecting the police force in launch the go in a intentional try to put added blood pressure on CEO Zuma. His child, Dujazane, planned for the Guptas and is creature talked of as a probable goal of the NPA's investigations. The would be an illicit go, but one how lot Southward Africans now see as completely probable, taking into account the obvious politicization of the judiciary framework and the soil erosion of key institutions for the Zuma epoch. Onto a declaration liberated by the Hawks, the police force's elitists' top priority crimes block. The raids were transferred out in Connect in the Vred Farmer inquiry. 3 human beings were detained for the attack, and 2 more than anticipated to brush themselves in. Onto regional print, one of such detained was a Gupta household term. How inquiry relates to the Estina milk farmer close Vred, in the complementary country, a draft that was initially intended to assist impoverished dark farmers, but of that the Gupta household are estimated to include pocketed millions of dollar concoction they reject. A tranche of leaked emails liberated recent year estimated how several of the cash ended up profitable for the household's abundant marriage at Suntown, Southward Africa's prestigious feast refuge. In January, the Hawks raided the offices of the complementary country prime, Ace Megashule, looking for documents related to the draft. Mr. Megashule was selected Registrar General of the governing African Domestic Convention, ANC, in December. The besieged Gupta household own a band of industry interests in Southward Africa, consisting computational, mountain, air journey, power, technique and print. The 3 brothers, Atul, Rajesh and Ajay, excited to the nation in 1993 of India, fair as whites minority guideline was end. They are named friends of CEO Zuma, and his child, and one of the CEO's wives treated for the household's firms. The brothers include been charged of owning huge policy impact in Southward Africa, in critics approving how they include tested to seize the country to preliminary their own industry interests. Ex-Vice Financial Secretary Msbizi Jonas done a social statement in 2016 how he was proposed 600 METER rand, $50 meter, £36 meter, by the Gupta household to be the following financial secretary, as length as he did their auction. It was accompanied by a murderous paper by a Southward African by the government ombudsperson who charged the Guptas and CEO Zuma of colluding to win by the government contracts. The social clearance degraded in 2017 while more than rather than 100,000 emails were leaked that emerging to show the degree of the household's impact. It offered a facility web up by the government contracts, as estimated kickbacks and cash money laundering. It induced marches and social protests versus the household and CEO Zuma, duplicated the Zuptas.